Welcome back to this month's Pianobook Highlights. My name's Angus and I'm the Pianobook Community Manager. If you've not yet subscribed to our channel, now's a great time to do so. So do hit the subscribe button and ding that bell below, as we've got a competition running and plenty of content on the way for you before Christmas, which I'm really excited to announce later. So without further ado, in this episode we have a new Pianobook artist library with the most intricate user interface yet. Stephen Talamy interviews one of our most talented sample library developers at Pianobook. And I'm here at Spitfire HQ to play through some of your best submissions that we had in August and announce our new competition. But first, let's look at our Pianobook artist library, and this month it's Peter Flint, who you'll know from his amazing dictaphone library, and he was also our samplist of the month for September. Peter was kind enough to join me here in London at the Spitfire HQ to walk through his library. Unfortunately, we had a slight technical issue with the screen, which meant we can't really get a full resolution view of the plugin. But I want to show you the walkthrough anyway, because Peter says some amazing things that just might make you buy his fantastic product. Hi everyone, really pleased to have Peter in the studio with us. He's our latest Pianobook artist. He's here to take a look at tape rooms. So you were the samplist of the month last month, and why don't you just tell us a little bit about your background, how you made your way into sampling before we sort of delve into what is, I think, your best project to date.
Thank you very much. So I got into sampling. I started out as a media composer straight up, but then I always wanted to explore more the idea of instrument design, and using a lot of the skills that I learned on my university course, which was in digital arts, where I studied a lot of creative coding and sort of algorithmic music practice.
So is that really informed what is a beautiful interface? That's we've had the help of Hunter Rogerson, our last Pianobook artist, with this. Has that really informed how you've designed this and what effects are available on the synth?
Yeah, so I wanted to create something that was that didn't have a huge amount of controls, something that really gets you straight into the system that I've designed here, giving you a really sort of basic but very hands-on level of control.
Wow, those are very sneaky, those birds are, aren't they?
So this is my favorite patch. Really, there are a lot of pads, sort of leads, and more straightforward kind of sounds in this library. But this Sneaky Birds really, for me, sums up the sort of playful experimentation that I had with this. And so you don't have to do a whole lot with it, but it's part of one of the really great joys of making this library was about almost a kind of sonic world building. Yeah, creating these sort of playful at times and sometimes very dark and brooding sort of atmospheres that bring together both musical instruments that can be used in a more conventional way, but then also bridging the gap into more sort of sound design. So this is Crab. This is just a tape loop recorded of me handling the micro cassette recorder while I'm recording.
It's such a great little engine, isn't it? You know, the amount of possibilities you can have from it, and that's almost like in the popular music world, you have like candy that you might add on top of a song.
Yeah.
So this could be like that for film composers.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen there are ways that you can layer this into drums. You know, if you take a track of this and put a noise gate on it and, you know, sidechain that to a drum kit, then it does create that kind of candy, that sort of, you know, folding paper kind of sound that a lot of producers add to sort of lo-fi drum beats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So this is an example of one of the tape loops that's been recorded and passed through the Meris Hydra pitch shifting pedal. This was one of the experiments that really surprised me in how this digital pitch related effect interacted with something recorded on some very wobbly tape. Yeah, so you can get some really, really heavy bass with that.
Wowzers.
Yeah, and that's just a really great bass sound, isn't it?
And maybe it's a good opportunity to talk through some of the other controls that are on the interface. Most of us probably know what an envelope does, but grain shape, do you want to talk us through what that does?
Sure. The grain shape is basically finding what the shape of the loop is. It's like a second envelope. This envelope over to the right here is more of a global thing, and so when you turn all of these to 0 is when you get this more sort of keyboard mode where you're only getting one grain each time you press a key. And so if you just want to whack up the attack a bit, you can so this is
really softens the sound, actually.
Yeah, it softens the sound up a lot. It gives you a lot of control over, if you are creating like if you're using this sound as a bass in a beat, you can make it interact a lot differently with your kick.
Yeah, there's something really analog about the instrument, even though we've turned it into a digital product. There's something really analog about the sound there that feels really authentic too.
More length, longer loop. And so the sound being used here is creating a very sort of typical driving cinematic kind of beat arpeggiator sound that you can hear alongside orchestral samples in any kind of tension building or any kind of scene with a lot of motion.
Well, we actually happen to have plenty of orchestral sample libraries here. Should we just pair them up and see what they sound like?
You don't say.
You can just almost imagine the scene there. It just works wonders.
Yeah, it's almost writing itself. So these overdriven patches are really pushing the overstayer to its limits. It was really interesting doing that with such fragile sort of microcassette tape samples, and then absolutely
crushing them
with the overstayer's saturation. And
it's got to be done.
It's got to be done.
So a little bit of chimbassi here. Wow. I think that what's beautiful about this particular sound and the rest of them within the library is that they really paint a picture, don't they? Rather than, you're looking at the picture on your screen. If you're a film composer and you're composing to that picture, these do the opposite and they paint that picture for you, don't they?
Yeah. I really love sounds that do that kind of they feel like they really conjure images in your mind.
So we've got 110 presets to pick from here, but you can actually put your own samples into the engine, can't you?
Yeah, this is what I mean when I say you can go back into your sample libraries and really sort of rethink the things that maybe you've forgotten about or left behind for a long time.
So I've given you access to, this is a piano that me and Dan recorded in the last Pianobook highlights, which is a mixture between an upright and a Fender Rhodes. So let's just drop it in and see what that sounds like.
Sure, I'm going to grab a sample from the slightly higher register, C#4 here, and I'm just going to drop it into this wave display here, and you can see it's come up. I'm going to set the root here to C#4, which you do by just pressing set root and then hitting the key. I think that was C#4. It was certainly,
yeah, that's definitely like C#4.
Yeah, it was certainly in the area, and then we can just start playing with it. And so, yeah, now all of these controls are available to us with any sample, any WAV file that you want to drop in.
Thanks again, Peter, for coming all the way down from Leicester to London and visiting us here at Spitfire HQ. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. It's been great.
So this is a fantastic textual library by one of my colleagues here at Spitfire called Morgan, and she said that Pacific Coast Atmos is an organic granular synth pad offering moving landscapes, textures and sonic oddities. The patch itself is built on a pure crystalline pad derived from samples I recorded for Emotive Living Room Upright, which is another one of their fantastic Pianobook libraries, and includes processed lute samples of various techniques performed by myself on violin. And her cat Oscar has also provided some samples for this library too. So I think what's interesting about this library is if we play very softly on the keyboard, we'll trigger the lower layer of the velocity range. So we get a very soft and subtle pad there. And you can hear the violin collegno, which is basically the back of the bow that's bouncing off the violin strings. You can hear that coming in very subtly when we sort of press a bit harder on the keys there. Amazing. And if we play really hard, you'll then hear the full pad with all of the samples layered together. And I'm just going to up the voice count here just so we don't get the samples cutting each other off. And she's given us also a reverb control here, which really helps blend and glue all those textures together. So that's Pacific Coast Atmos, which is available to download at pianobook.co.uk now. And next, let's go over to Stephen Tallamy, who's talking to one of our best sample library developers. It's Owen Bolig.
So, yeah, today we have Owen Bolig. We got this right this time? We got it right?
Yeah,
perfect.
Right.
Okay. Or Bolig, I guess, is sometimes how people will know you on Pianobook. Now, you were the samplist of the month in September. Tell us, where are you based?
So I am in Nashville, Tennessee. I've been here for about 6 years. I came out here to get my master's in audio engineering. That was the whole point of me coming to Nashville.
So tell us, what's a bit about your background and, what got you into this pathway of making all these amazing virtual instruments that you've been making for Pianobook?
So what I started with was just playing guitar when I was younger. And then I think I said in the Weeds video, I said that I did like the responsible thing and went to college for engineering instead. And I enjoyed it, but I only worked as a mechanical engineer for like a few months. And then I just switched to being an intern at a music studio. Went from there to Nashville to go to school to get my audio engineering degree. Did some software after that because I had a professor that I really connected with, Eric Tarr. He helped me get a job in software where I did Kontakt instruments. And then from there, I've kind of done independent work and gotten really involved with Pianobook, focusing mostly on collaborative work. Yeah, so my main focus is collaboration. My first collaborator was Sam Ekoff. He looked at Beat Boop and figured out what the binary code meant. And that was before Discord. So we connected before Pianobook had the Discord. I've been lucky to work with Hunter. I've been lucky to work with Sage. Andrea, we've been talking a lot lately. She's absolutely wonderful. I know you're a good friend of hers as well.
So what tips do you have on, collaborating with others? How do you find your collaborations? How do you work together? Any tips on that?
You don't necessarily just reach out to people being like, you want to collaborate, here, check out this demo I made, like, check this out, because a lot of people are being bombarded by that. So instead, do something like I did with Andrea. Andrea left a review on Dice Game, and she really liked it. I then reached out to her on Discord and grew a friendship with her. And that's how we started to collaborate. So instead of just reaching out to the people that you really want to work with, that don't know anything about you, reach out to the people that are interested in the stuff that you've already put out there.
So we've got one more thing we want to talk about today, which is Portals, which has just come out in October. So do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Try to think of, like, how am I going to get attention? And I did it through a few ways. And the main one is reaching out to the friends that I've made on Pianobook, Sam, Sage, and Hunter, and have them make samples, have them beta test it. But it's really customizable. And I did that so that I could bring in samples from my friends and customize the engine to suit the samples that they handed over to me. Not just the samplist should be focused on. Also, people like Simeon, who reviews instruments, and also Alex, who has reviewed every instrument, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
They should be focused on, and also the demoist, like Andrea, like Ryan, like Harriet. Harriet just sent me a demo of Portals that blew my mind. So I wanted to do Portals in a way that promoted multiple parties in the community, especially to celebrate what Pete has done with the collaboration feature.
We'll put links below for all of these libraries, for Portals, for Half and Hollow, and everything else. We'll obviously put your main profile so people can go and check out all the things you've been doing. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Thank you, Stephen.
Wow, this is amazing. RJS drums. So let's have a look what the creator, which is Risto Sipola, said on this story. So RJS drums is a drum kit with 5 alternative snares and 2 kicks. The kit has both regular and towel covered snares, amazing, and the package also includes sound presets and additional percussion instruments. The switchable kit pieces together with a mixer makes it possible to get a wide variety of sounds, and there certainly is here. We've got our kick drums here at the bottom and our different snares, and this graphic user interface is absolutely amazing, so we can switch between the different snare drums. And the different kits here as well. So we've got a slightly lower thud on the one there, which is great to have actually. If you combine that with the snare drum here, that's a little bit more cut off. And he's also programmed in this hi-hat. So when it opens and you play the closed hi-hat afterwards, that sample will end. So you can hear it rings out there. But if we play the closed hi-hat immediately afterwards, so it's very clever programming. Great, and what I like to do when showing off some drum libraries, if I just put a loop on in Logic here, let's just loop together a couple of rounds of beats and just layer them up with different samples. So we've also got some toms here, some bits of percussion, some cowbells here, and different cymbals as well available. So let's just put this on to loop, nice cool 90 BPM I think. So if we just go into the editor in Logic, what I'm actually going to do is get rid of that hi-hat pattern. I want to put in something a little bit more interesting. And then I'm just going to quantize all of these to a 16th. So if I just press Q on my keyboard, that's a shortcut. And then I've just put the strength at 80 there, which means instead of being to the beat there, if we just drag this down, we've got a little bit of humanism still in there. So let's play that. And let's play around with some of the sounds. I think we'll go with that second one. Okay, let's add some hi-hat. Difficult to play on this keyboard because the notes are very deep, but a bad worksman blames his tools, as they say. So let's add a bit of open hat in there. Or a little cheeky one at the end. Just give that a quick quantize. What else can we add in? Let's add a bit of cowbell. Great, and I think we can just add a couple of toms as well. Let's show off what those toms sound like. Oh, that was pretty bad. Let's see if quantize helps me out there. So yeah, great pack there. Let's just open that with the drums and see what it sounds like. A bit of compression to get it sounding fat. So yeah, that's RJS drums, but Risto's also written at the end here that the instrument can't produce clean and powerful modern pro drum sounds. Well, I think we've just disproved that story, so hopefully he removed that bit, but a fantastic library there, Risto, so thanks for submitting it to Pianobook. So yep, that's available on pianobook.co.uk right now. So the next library we have is Nordia by Ruben, who's submitted so many good sample packs over the last year, and I'm really pleased that we can now show him in the Pianobook highlights because this pack is absolutely sublime. Absolutely amazing. So we've got 3 different signals here, and I think what his story shows is just an amazing journey. So he says that this is the most intensive library that he's ever made, and for starters, the instruments were recorded at different times in his sort of very young career. So the first signal here is a piano which was recorded in 2020 in a studio based in Costa Rica. And he recorded this at the age of 14. So this is the piano signal. And then the second signal is a cello, which he recorded in this year in July with a great friend of his, was an SM57, always a good standard mic choice. Yeah, something really gritty about that. It's similar to sort of some of the sounds that Johan Johansson was making. There's just those teeny tiny textures at the top which are just creating that movement, which is great. And we've also got a third signal here, which is the pad section, which was recorded on beaches in Costa Rica, plus an ocarina that he sampled around 2021 before he came to the Netherlands, where he currently lives. So here's the ocarina and C pad. And yeah, there's something really beautiful about that sound. You can really hear that ocean soundscape behind the pad there. So when you mix these all together, I quite like the cello. So I'm just going to lower the C there and the piano. And you just get this beautiful soundscape. And if I just attach the low pass here and the high pass to MIDI CC, so I can control it here with the nano control. What I can do is then just provide it with a little bit of movement as well. So here we go. Great sounds. And there's also a pitch section here. Great sound. And there's also a piano section too. It's such a treat to have all these different sounds available. Losing my sustain pedal under this table slowly. I'm sure that's a common thing that people have. Really fantastic piano sound there as well. Really light. And airy as well. You can really hear the glossy and resonant tone there. So that's Nordia there, and I just want to take a step back to Peter's library and just show off one of the features that's available, because it blew my mind when he showed me this. So here's Peter's very alarming bass. So if we take one of the samples from Nordia here, so we've got the ocean pad to C, so I presume the root is key. So what we do is press set root, press our note that the sample is attached to originally, and that means that we can now play the sample across the entire keyboard. So this is what the pad sounds like now in Peter's engine. So we've got length controls here, so we can control the length of the loop. So obviously if that's very low, then it's a very quick loop. And if we just increase it, and we've got the ability to sync this with our DAW tempo as well, so you don't need to worry about this being out of sync with your songs. So we can also change the start point of the sample too, and how random that start point is. And if we just change the envelope a little bit as well, we can start to make the sound a bit more clicky. So really good, just adding those little bit of textures there to make your pieces a little bit more interesting. So that's just a really quick overview of the feature that allows you to drop your own samples into tape rooms. But also don't forget that Peter's constructed 110 different sounds that he's included in the library as well. So do check it out at pianobook.co.uk/artists. And Cairo, our composer, has also done a full walkthrough linked below and available on our YouTube channel. So it's competition time here at Pianobook, and here's what we're going to do. Yes, welcome to the world's biggest BRAAAM. If you don't know what that is, it's a phrase that's been made popular in film music. It's all over the place these days, from trailers to your favourite blockbuster films. So what is it? Well, it's basically a powerful, synthy, brassy sound that really punctuates those moments of action. And we're going to get together to create the world's biggest BRAAAM by combining all of your sample submissions together, and we'll have prizes for the best ones. So how do you participate? Well, first you need to record yourself playing with an instrument or a sound source that's both audio and video, because if you want to win in the competition, the video element's important too. You need to edit that in your DAW to make sure it's pitched to the key of B. So yeah, you can select any B on the keyboard and we'll pitch it in post to make sure that everything sounds in tune. Once you've recorded your audio and pitched it to the correct B note, you'll need to also export it with a 24-bit 48K resolution. Upload the audio file to our Discord channel that's called World's Biggest BRAAAM Audio, and then paste your video file in World's Biggest BRAAAM Video. So right, the important bit, the prizes. I can't announce the prize yet because it's yet to be released by Spitfire Audio. So once it's released, I'll do another video just clarifying that we are giving away 5 copies of this library. And what are those 5 copies for? The first award will be for the best space, the place that it's been recorded, a massive car park, a big church cathedral, or in our Global Swarm project, we even had a 1,000-year-old pyramid. So make sure you find the best space if you want to win that award. Biggest ensemble, so this is either the biggest amassed ensemble, you might have a really big choir, a really big orchestra that you're part of. Get them to play a note in B, record it, and you could win the prize for biggest ensemble. This is going to be judged on the video, so try and squeeze everyone into the frame because we will be having to do head count. You could also record yourself playing multiple instruments in different ways, but you'd need to layer this quite a lot of times if you wanted to compete with an entire orchestra. Best processing, so this one is for the sample that's been processed the best. So let's say your starting point is you're hitting a table, or How do we know that's a table? Maybe the processing that you've done means that the sound has completely changed into something absolutely incredible. So let us know what processing you've done as part of your submission, and you might win the award for best processing. The next award is for best performance, the best way that sample's being recorded. You might do it in a really flamboyant way, or you might, like Stephen Tallamy did for Global Swarm, build an entire Lego set that then performed the sample for him. So we're looking for best performance, which obviously the video element is very important for. And then finally, we're just going to give an award for the best overall sample, the best sound, the one that inspires us the most, the one that we listen to and go, wow, that is incredible. So those are the 5 awards available. They're all going to receive a Spitfire audio library that's being released soon. So do make sure you get involved. Judging will be done by the Pianobook team, and if you want to volunteer to help edit the pack and create some of the graphics for it, then do so on our Discord channel. There'll be an obvious link to where that's going to be. I just haven't written everything up yet, so best place to head now is the Discord, where I can answer any questions you have. The full terms and conditions for our Discord challenges can be found on our website and is also linked below. So that was Winter Voices, which was the first time we did this community sample pack challenge, and we released Winter Voices on Christmas Day in 2020, which is exactly the same day that we're going to release the world's biggest BRAAAM after our Advent calendar period, which you'll find out more information on in the future. So we're doing different Advent drops on different days. More to come on that soon. So do enter your samples before the end of November. The cutoff is going to be November the 30th, so do get them in as soon as possible. Our team's going to start editing away and creating them. Do make sure it's pitched to B, do make sure it's a WAV file, 24-bit, 48Hz sample rate, and enjoy making them. Make your videos, show us how you've made them, show us your processing, talk about it on our Discord channel, which is all linked below. Like I said, if you've got any questions about how you create your samples, what you're doing, what the prizes are, how you can get them, just ask away on the Discord channel. So thanks for joining me for another Pianobook Highlights. Like I said earlier in the video, like and subscribe and notify yourself to this channel. We'll have more and more content about the world's biggest BRAAAM and our Advent calendar drop coming soon. So now is a great time to make sure you hit that button and ding that bell. So thanks to all the contributors in this episode. You'll be winning a library that will appear magically here. We'll get in contact with you in the next couple of days, don't worry. If you've not got your email address for your Spitfire account on your Pianobook account, we'll contact you on your Pianobook email address. So thanks for watching to the end, and I'm really looking forward to seeing all your BRAAMs, and do join us for the next video, which will be looking at how we're going to progress with that sample pack, community pack together. See you next time.